Yo, what up YouTube? It's Bryce doing episode 8 of Yugimornz, and this is kind of going to be a follow-up video to the video I did 2 days ago, so episode 6, about luck versus skill versus having better cards, and which helps you win. Basically I'm going to address consistency, which is something I didn't mention, which is ultimately what you need to win more than anything. All three things sort of just affect your consistency, in that building better decks, playing right, like knowing your rulings, and just knowing little things like end phase MSTing. Like when I came back to the game, I didn't even know about that for a little bit. So just some things like that, and then reading your opponent's plays and playing ahead. Just basically those sort of skill-related things that you pick up as you play are all important, and they'll help you win more consistently. And then having expensive cards, you know, like tour guides and dualities previously, just stuff that helps you be more consistent with your deck. Literally, I hate to use the word in the definition, but that's, I guess, what it does, so that's all I can really say. And so yeah, just that's the aspect of skill and the aspect of good cards, which lower the amount of luck required, basically, which helps up your consistency, which is what you need to do. Just going to address other things that help your consistency. This kind of goes along with knowing what cards are good for your deck, but anyway, just searchers in general. I mean, most people already know that searchers are good, and for example, like heroes run like 3 E-Call and a Rhoda, Samurai running 3 Smoke Signal and a Rhoda, GBs run 3 Proving Ground, Gravekeeper's last format had recruiters and dualities. You know, 3 recruiter, 3 duality, that's just a ton of digging through your deck to get what you need, and if you can get what you need, then you can answer your opponent's plays better, which helps you win more often. So searchers and low card count basically up your consistency. That's why people play 40 cards in their deck usually, sometimes just bumping it over if they feel like they have to. It just helps you draw what you need when you need it. But really interestingly enough, 40 to 42, the ratio of how often you'll open with a certain card really stays almost the same from 40 to 42, but if you get higher than that, you get off. But anyway, I'm not trying to talk about that right now. Also, just cards that combo together are good, like synergy sort of makes your deck more consistent. Like if cards are in an archetype together, obviously they are supposed to support each other, and then just lights and darks support Chaos Sorcerer, BLS, so that adds some sort of consistency to your deck. And then cards that are good in the graveyard, you just want to mill, which is another, I guess, sort of synergy, not necessarily a consistency thing. I'm not going to try to say that milling is consistent. But yeah. Chainability in cards also helps your deck be more consistent, because like if they hit your face down Compulse or Book of Moon, then you can chain that, opposed to just having a face down Prison or whatever and not being able to chain. Just allows you to answer your opponent's plays. Being able to answer multiple different things with a single card is another thing that can make your deck more consistent. Example like Dark Bribe and Solemn Judgment, how they can negate spells or traps, opposed to 7 tools just negating traps. And then Thunder King, how it stops pretty much everything. Everyone already knows that's good. And then how Max C is good against so many decks. Obviously, I'm not a revolutionary for saying that, but... And random combos. Basically, your combos will be more consistent the less cards they require to go off. Like, when Lone Fire was at 2, you could make a Shooting Star Dragon out of just a Lone Fire and a Monster Reborn, so it's a 2-card Shooting Star, which is pretty good. Opposed to like Valkyrion, the Magna Warrior, which is the big beefy Magnet Warrior guy. You need all 3 Magnet Warriors to summon. So he basically requires 4 cards to work, himself and the other 3 Magnet Warriors, which makes that a really inconsistent thing, because if your cards are going to take 4 cards together to pull off the combo, you only need 1 more card and you're running Exodia, basically. You know? You only need 5 and you'd already literally win. That's one way to look at it. Basically, if your cards combos require more than 3 cards, they're probably not very consistent. Yeah, that's just some comments on consistency. Basically, the more consistent your deck is, the less luck required to win the game. But ultimately, I believe that if the skill level is equal and the card pool is equal, then the only thing left is luck for the game to be based on. So, yeah, I know people disagree with me, but if all the other variables are equal, then luck is the only variable, but it's really impossible to actually have that happen in practice, in reality in Yu-Gi-Oh! So then that's where consistency comes into it. I think basically what I'm trying to say is that luck is what you're battling against, sort of, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you can control what cards you have, and you can control how skilled you are by just learning the game better and just buying those cards. But you can't control your luck, so that makes it the hardest of the three things to, I guess, gain, because you can never really have it. And yeah, that's just why you gotta make your deck consistent, so you don't rely on luck. You rely on your skill as a deck builder and your skill as a player. I guess that's it, guys, and peace.